First and foremost, I want to say I'm not going to have my shirt off the whole video. I just got back from the gym and I want to actually talk about how I used the gym to go from being this out of shape, always tired, always emotionally anxious, disrespected, emasculated person that was walked all over in my relationship to being this admired. My wife finds me attractive. She admires me in public and in private in front of anyone, to being this taken seriously, seen as a leader, man of God. And I want to tell you how I was able to do that in under a year.
All right, so I want to get right into it. I want to talk about how I used the gym to go from being this insecure, out of shape man who was always emotionally reactive. I was getting walked all over. I was getting disrespected. I was getting not taken seriously, and how it basically held me down as a man. And I went from that to being this in shape, confident, high valued man of God, and I was able to do that in under a year. Right. And no, I didn't have to stick to a chicken and rice diet the whole time. Right. I want to talk about that. I want to be very specific about it. And in this video, if you feel like this is for you, please stick around, grab a pen, paper, whatever you need to take notes and just actually get a good understanding of how I was able to use the Exodus method to get from near to there in under 1 year. First off, I want to talk about who this is for. Like, this is not going to be for everybody. This is specifically for the people who are in a relationship who are getting walked all over, right? They don't get taken seriously. They're not seen as a leader, and they don't even know what to do about it, right? The men who are ready to build a legacy and actually have this foundation where they can stick to their word, they mean exactly what they say, and they're not going to get taken as a joke, right? And the men who are struggling in everything they do, basically, they say they're going to go to the gym, they're going to take the gym seriously, or they're going basically every 1 to 2 weeks, probably twice out of the whole week. And they're struggling to just stick to their word as a man, whether it be I'll take the trash out, right? This is for you. Men who are already working and they don't like the life that they live. They say they had this big dream, these big aspirations, this, that, and the third, but every time they say that, every time they want to take action on the thing they do, they're too tired to, right? They don't work, this, that, and the third, right? And men who obviously fight against porn, who has these struggling habits, whether it's reacting emotionally, watching porn, getting into fights. They had like zero structure in their routine and in their life, right? Now, I want to talk about who this isn't for. Exodus is not for everyone. Why? Because a lot of men say they want change. They say, oh man, I want it. But newsflash, you are not different from any other man simply because you want something. You want change. Only a few men actually say they want it and then do the things necessary to make it happen, right? Who this isn't for is men who specifically, this is why it's in red. It's specifically in red because I don't want no man when it's for vanity, pride, and trying to just get girls with it, trying to make themselves think they're better than everyone. That is the number one reason I will not help you become the man that has this shredded and ripped body. I will not be the reason you go to hell because of your pride. And I was headed down that path. I'm speaking from personal experience. If you are a man and you think you're going to get this body and you think you're going to have the same life and have this body, yeah, this is not for you. This is not for you. You're gonna have to literally change your habits, right? Men who can't take accountability. This is not for you if you're not even able to be the man that can say, "Oh yeah, I could have did better. I could have did better." If I'm talking to you and you're messing up and you're just not the man that's always ready to adapt and change, is not for you, right? Men who are looking for a quick fix with no effort, right? This is not a fitness program that has the easy way out. It's not a magic pill. It's not information, right? Is you not taking no Ozempic because, like I said, this is it's exodus. It is an exit out of the mindset that you have, the mindset, the slavery that you place on yourself because of your physical capabilities. It's not for you. If you think you're gonna get an easy way out, you're not. I'm sorry. Men who want results without building lasting habits, like I said, it's the same thing as the person who rejects criticism. If you think you're gonna have this habit of going out and partying or eating bad food or food that's not good for you because you're like, oh, this is just too much. It's not for you. This is for people who say I am tired of it, right? And obviously, men who are unwilling to sacrifice comfort or leave their own lifestyle behind. Exodus is literally is inspired by the Bible. That's where I got it from. It's the when Moses needed the slaves out of Egypt back to Israel, and that's that's what I definitely plan on doing. Any man who's not like say physically a slave, like actually a slave, but they're a slave to their mind or what they tell themselves, I help people do that. That being said, I want to say that you've been lied to, right? The world told us exactly what a man should be in the world, right? Not the Bible, not biblical masculinity, but the worldly masculinity. They said that we need to have this this physique of a Greek god, and we need to pay all the bills. And then the fitness industry made it so much worse by giving us a aesthetic identity to hide behind, and it didn't make anything better. I promise you. All right, they told us that simply paying all the bills and being in shape was simply the goal, and of course, right, we want it to be that way because it's less work, but it's not. It's not. That's not actually the thing. Here's the truth, right? Nobody told us that even if you're jacked, emotional control, if you don't have that, it means you're still not a man because you don't know how to control yourself. And it makes everything worse because you're in shape. You're stronger. All right. And then the false solution, like I said, that they gave us, they handed us the red pill movement, right? And if you're a man and you're struggling in your relationship, you know exactly what the red pill movement is, right? And they gave us these gym influencers chasing fame and culture, trying to tell us that we should do this, we should do that. And it either makes us more emotional or more hateful, right? Men would do these things, it would see some results and then still feel empty, get less walked over, right? In my case, I was getting less walked over and I still couldn't lead my relationship, my family, my household because the root was never addressed. And like I said, I want you to trust me because like I know exactly how it is. This is me. I was broken, insecure, and lost at the age of 22. I was toxic relationship. It was arguments every day. And I'm not going to say it was her. It was definitely me because I couldn't control my own emotion. I was working at a crappy job, pushing carts with no real plan. And I was always anxious because I had zero control over my emotional state. And every single time I would get into an argument, I would just get more anxious. I was constantly emasculated in that relationship, constantly disrespected. I wasn't working a blue collar job. So, pushing carts is nothing, right? And now, if you're watching this and you are pushing carts, there's hope. I promise you. All right. I was always being emotional, and I wasn't shredded with a six pack, as you can see. And then because of that, I fell into the red pill trap. Right. I was desperate for change, and I didn't have a father growing up. So because I didn't have a father growing up, I was kind of like misguided, or I didn't really have like a father figure just to lean on. And I took all of your advice. It worked, right? It worked, and I got shredded, right? It got better, like I said, but then it got worse because I built a dream physique. I lost the fat, built the muscle. I gained confidence and a bit of respect, but then that's when it started going downhill. The problem was I had no real foundation, right? In this picture, you can see I am shredded. I am shredded. But that with no foundation is like this castle that looks good, but it's sand. It is a sand foundation. The water behind it coming up will just wipe it out of existence, right? I was building my body off of pure hatred, of emasculation and disrespect. And I had no desire to honor God. I had no desire to leave my family. And this kind of fuel, like I said, because there's no foundation, it leads to somewhere dark and it doesn't last. Right. The reason why I'm making this video is, and I'm talking about this part specifically because The gym was the easy part. The gym was the easy part. Doing it the wrong way will lead you down somewhere you do not want to go. Right? I had the wrong identity. I no longer wanted to be the person that was belittled and disrespected and walked over, knowing that my previous partner, she was going to be like lovey-dovey and submissive and doing all this other stuff to other men that looked better than me, right? That had more money than me. I hated it. That was a mistake, right? After I made that vow to never feel that powerless again, I didn't go to God. I didn't try to reclaim my identity in Christ. That was the mistake. I rebuilt my identity around the wrong thing, how women saw me, how my physique, how desired I was and respected I was. I would always ask myself that. I'm like, am I worth anything? Right? And this created a problem because I still struggled with lust, right? I still struggled with lust. I was constantly disrespected and walked over. But because I now had the body to attract the attention, you can put one and one together and you can kind of understand, hey, that's not a good like mix. That's a recipe for disaster. And I figured it out. Like I said, no foundation. I had no spiritual community. I became a part of a community of God frame, and I had no identity in Christ. I placed my identity in Christ, and that changed everything. That literally changed the the trajectory of everything that ever happened. And obviously, I had the wrong motivation. My fuel to go to the gym was hate and revenge. Every single time I thought about getting disrespected, I went to the gym. All right. And then I used becoming a man of God that can lead my family, my spouse, just overall the community that I'm in as my new motivation. After I was able to figure out the issue, I still wanted to be in shape. I still wanted to have this new mindset. So I implemented this new Exodus method that I created in this overall my proprietary system that allows me to boost my confidence. All right. Attract that feminine nature right out of my wife. And the Exodus method concludes of three methods, three pillars: macro manipulation, muscle manipulation, and mindset manipulation. Now, first and foremost, macro manipulation, it teaches you how to track your protein, your carbs, your fats the right way in order for you to actually get the body that you want, because abs are made in the kitchen, right? Your body, your physique is made in the kitchen. You can go to the gym every single day for the next 10 years. And I tell people this all the time. Two people took my advice, and I tell people this all the time. Go to the gym every day for the rest of your life. You don't eat right. You don't eat the correct way. You don't actually make sure you're eating the right, taking in the right protein. You're taking in the right fats and carbs. You will not see results. You'll probably see results after like 2 years. But in reality, it'll take you maybe 3 to 6 months if your body's already primed. But that's another video for another day. Macro manipulation will teach you how to do these things using the foods that you already like. You can see right here, this is a sandwich that looks good. But you can see right there, there's a piece of chicken inside of it, right? Most people would just throw some bacon and with a bunch of fat, a crap load of, mayonnaise or something, and then they'll call it a day, right? They're hungry, and I understand. But if you actually want to get your body in shape, these little tweaks where you just take out the mayonnaise, or you put a less amount of mayonnaise, or, cheese is good, but the chicken, where you actually can up your protein after a good workout, that's where the tweaks actually happen at, right? Most men fail, right? Most men fail when they say they want to start their physique journey or fitness journey or whatever. Most men will fail because they think that eating means boring chicken and rice diet, and nobody loves that, right? That's boring. That's really boring, and it's hard to make it taste good when you're eating it every single day, right? So they quit. Reason why this macro manipulation works is because most men will do this, and then they'll start feeling deprived of the things that they're eating when they go out with their families and they see them eating this crazy food, and you're like, these urges are strong. They feel deprived, so then they just say screw it, and then they eat something unhealthy, and then that triggers a downward spiral for them to eat more unhealthy foods, and then they basically quit. They lose all the progress that they've made. Right? That's not a diet. It's just a structure that flexes around your real life and your culture and your family meals, schedules, whatever. Right? Now, Exodus is about leaving bondage, leaving slavery. So macro manipulation works because it's about leaving or having that freedom from the dietary restrictions. The next one is muscle manipulation. Muscle manipulation is very simple. It's very simple. It's about creating the habit first, being consistent first, because a man who shows up at 40% every single day will always outperform and do better and see more results than the person who shows up super motivated, super amped out. Their ego is through the roof and they're going at 100%. And then they burn themselves out because they did too much on the very first day. They didn't get the fundamentals right. They went in there with the wrong mindset and they was too turned up. And now the body is burnt out, the muscles are sore, and then they're out of the gym for the next week and a half, right? Men get motivated, they walk into the gym, they need to go all out on day one. And then, like I said, their ego is through the roof. They're over here doing everything with the worst form ever. They look terrible doing it. And then they think, oh, well, I can lift it, I can make it move, so I'm strong and I can. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. I see that constantly, and I can tell who's doing it purely from ego and people who has a routine, who has a foundation, who has a structure, right? That mindset creates an all or nothing mindset, right? You either go too hard and burn out, or you feel too intimidated to even start, right? You can see right here, I was able to build this body using muscle manipulation. I knew I went to the gym and I started off very slowly, and all I had to do was create a habit of going. Once I got the form right, once I was able to go regardless of how I felt, how the external circumstances was, then I can just up the weight. I can just up the weight. And then I was able to burn fat and lose muscle. Lifestyle and mindset manipulation, right? That is simply about breaking the limiting beliefs that have kept you stuck your whole entire life. It is the story that you tell yourself is, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. No, I can't because of this thing that happened to me in the past. This is basically that. It breaks all of it, right? Mindset manipulation is about replacing those limiting beliefs with a new identity, discipline, and a biblical foundation of a man that you actually want to be, which is a man who can lead, a man who has boundaries, a man who can protect your family, all of those things, right? The reason why this works is because you can have a perfect diet, right? I say you can go to the gym and you can go to the gym every single day for the rest of your life. And then you eat like crap, you're not going to see no results, right? But if I had both of those things and I had a terrible mindset, you were going to be like me in the past after I built my body. My mindset sucked. I was still falling into temptation because I had the wrong mindset, right? And I couldn't get out of that mindset because I kept telling myself the same story over and over and over again. Now, like I said, most men are literally not held back by their circumstances. They think they are, but your mind is so malleable and morphable that you don't even know it. You tell yourself, I can't do something because of this. Your mind is so powerful that you genuinely, like your mind is so powerful that you have the power to create a bubble, and then you put the bubble around yourself and then you make it small. That's what mindset manipulation is all about. It is popping that bubble and making you see that you have the ability to create the reality that you want and aligns with the man that you want to be. This is going to rewire how you see yourself, right? You're going to go from a man that is just reacting and whatever happens, you're going to react to it. You're going to react to it to a man that is intentional, decisive, and in control of the direction and the life that you actually want to be. And me personally, I love the man that I'm becoming. When you're actually on this journey, you're going to love the things that you see about yourself. Once you see the things that you are now exposed to and you understand, you're going to love and hate the fact that you didn't see it earlier, right? But God was good. God has a perfect timing. It's okay, right? Exodus is about being in bondage, like I said. Mindset manipulation exposes the lie that you keep telling yourself that keeps you stuck, right? These are the results, right? So me following my own implications of the Exodus method, this is the result. Bro, look at me. Like, bro, you can look at me and tell I have a body that shows that I'm willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing to actually be uncomfortable and break my own limiting beliefs and be like, I can't hit this. I can't hit this weight because I'm telling myself I can't hit this weight. So with your words, I can hit this weight. Now go. You can see that I'm bro. Like I'm proud of the body that I built, right? You can see this delicious bowl of Chipotle right here. I'm still able to eat that and still be in shape. Why? Because I'm smart about the decisions that I make according to what I get. I don't just get slop and slop and slop. I can eat that and it was delicious and I can still look like this, right? And then you can see my beautiful wife right there, right? The mindset that I was able to build through mindset manipulation allows me to be the man that can lead my wife. My wife, she's submissive. She's gentle. She speaks life into me. And she knows that I'm on this journey to be a man that can lead other people. Right? That's the result of me following three pillars: macro manipulation, mindset manipulation, and muscle manipulation. And this right here, these are real people, real progress. This is Marcus, 27 years old. He's overweight. He implemented the Exodus method, and in just 30 days, he was able to lose 12 pounds. And I'm not talking about like 12 pounds of straight fat because he starved himself. No, 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 no. I'm talking about healthy 12 pounds where what he lost was fat in 30 days. This was his first 30 days. He joined a year program. Him joining a year in his first, and I'll see what he looks like. Oh my goodness. And then here, right here, this is Justice. Justice, this is my brother, 23 years old. Look how, he's not out of shape, but he wanted to look better. And what both of these men had in common is that they were in toxic relationships, getting walked all over. Now he's ripped. He's ripped. And like I said, both of these men are now married. They're married and they're on their purpose. They said, I'm done being the man with all the excuses. I don't care about the circumstances. I want to become the man that could lead my family. I want to be in shape. They cut out all the excuses, and now you got Marcus over here, lost 12 pounds in the first 30 days of his program. Justice, he gained about 30 pounds of muscle. Now you're probably asking yourself, what's next? You know exactly what's next. You know exactly what you should do. You're just trying to see how easy you can take that band-aid off to see if it doesn't hurt. I just gave you all the information. You know exactly what's next. Cut the excuses. Pull the trigger. Rip the band-aid off. Or keep it on you and let it cause an infection into your relationship, into your marriage, into your home. Or if you're tired of being the man that you currently are, the man that you keep looking in the mirror, you get unsatisfied, and you keep making up all these excuses, right? You want to be a part of a community of faith-driven men who hold each other accountable. This is for you. This is for you. There's no question. This is for you. If you're tired of not being seen as a leader in your own home and you know you're capable of being that leader, you're tired of the disrespect, you're tired of being insecure, you're tired of being emotionally reactive, this is for you. If you're ready to feel more confident in your body, your own body, than you've ever felt in your entire life, this is for you. If you're ready to enjoy your favorite meals while still making progress, this is for you. Now, and if you are ready to be the respected man of God that your family can lean on as a leader, right? They can go to you as a leader. You can knock out all the problems because you are a leader. This is for you. Book a one-on-one call with me and we can start the progress to you making that change now. Now, if you're watching this and you've already booked a one-on-one, we are going to make a change. All right.